Well, hell has finally frozen over. The Eagles can now get back together, or perhaps the Beatles even. George Harrison and John Lennon and co. That was a joke. But yes, William Lane Craig and Richard Dawkins have met on the debate field. Now, a I guess it was probably about a week ago. I was listening to a radio interview with Dr. Craig. I don't know when this interview was recorded, but I was listening to it about a week ago. It was a podcast of a radio broadcast recorded so you could download it off the computer. And the philosophy professor from Creswell Seminary was interviewing, and I forget what his name is, but he was interviewing Dr. Craig. And at the end of the interview, he asked him about the possibility of debating with Richard Dawkins, or the topic of a hypothetical, debate between the two of them came up. And Dr. Craig said that he had heard from an insider, and he didn't give the name of this insider, but he said he'd heard from an insider that he knows that Richard Dawkins, in his debate with John Lennox, uh, felt, and this is the word that Dr. Craig himself used, he felt spanked by John Lennox. So he did not want to, despite what he says, Richard Dawkins, the real story, according to this insider, was that he was afraid that that would happen in a debate with Dr. Craig. Well, last night at work during break, I was reading the question of the week on reasonablefaith.org, Dr. Craig's site, and the question was regarding an event that took place in Mexico that the questioner was present at. And I don't really know a lot of details about the event, just what I pieced together from reading this question. But apparently there was some kind of a convention or something in Mexico with large, a more or less large number of people, speakers. Um, and one of the speakers was William Lane Craig, another one was Richard Dawkins. They had, I think, 6 minutes for an opening statement and 4 minutes for rebuttals or something like that. So it wasn't a real thorough one-on-one kind of thing, but there was a debate, and apparently it took place in a boxing ring. They had the guy organizing the debate had somehow gotten a hold of a boxing ring, and that's where they were speaking from. Um, so I have not heard this exchange. I don't know all the details of it. I just heard about it last night. Um, so I think once I know more about it, I will probably do another video. But I did want to make one observation without actually having heard what was said there. Uh, the fact of the matter is that Richard Dawkins, he published, of course, The God Delusion, which was I yeah, The God Delusion, bad book. Um, it's 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 just one of the worst books I have ever read in my life. Um, Not because I disagree with the conclusion that God probably does not exist. I wholeheartedly do disagree with that. But the argumentation, if you want to call it that, was just so pathetic. Um, but he took a lot of flack. A lot of people were saying, "Well, you really don't know what you're talking about. You're using caricatures and oversimplifying and twisting, taking passages of the Bible out of context, twisting things in church history, and so on and so forth, uh, to write a not an informative expose, but a piece of propaganda." And he would always blow that off and say, well, uh, everybody knows that religious people are stupid, uh, so I really shouldn't take these criticisms seriously. It's like if you were arguing against leprechauns, would you could you be faulted for not taking time to read all these uh, books about um, arguments for the existence of leprechauns and so on? Uh, just kind of dismissing out of hand a priori the seriousness with which an approach to theology and Christianity can be. Uh, there's some pretty heavy weights in academia over the centuries that did believe in God, but he just kind of blows all that off with the wave of the hand. Well, since the book has come out, he has talked with and also debated Alistair McGrath. Well, I think when he first talked to Alistair McGrath was before the book came out, but they had a formal debate after the book came out. But he has had a chance to speak with Alistair McGrath and John Lennox. Um, the only part of that debate that I've seen is when Dawkins is saying that faith is something that we don't have any reason. We may even have reasons against it, but yet we believe it anyways. Um, and John Lennox says, well, do you have faith in your wife? And Richard Dawkins says, well, of course I have faith in my wife. Uh, and he said, now, is there any reason? Do you have any data? Do you have any evidence? Do you have any proof that she is a faithful, that she deserves to have that faith? Or is it just a blind uh, leap in the dark? And he says, well, of course, I have good reason to trust my wife, to have faith in her. And then he realizes what he has said and just kind of goes, duh. So, uh, John Lennox, Alistair McGrath, now William Lane Craig, uh, he's had the opportunity to interact with people of faith, uh, and Francis Collins as well. He was in an interview slash debate with Francis Collins, I think in Time Magazine. Um, so he's had at least four really bright, academic, intellectually minded Christians to try to clarify his misunderstandings, to explain what Christianity really is, how his caricatures are not really expressing what Christians do believe, just what people that want to set up straw men will say that it is. So the question that I have, and time will answer this question. I don't know what the answer is yet, um, but the question that I have is Dawkins going to listen to these people? Now, I'm not suggesting that he should necessarily start believing in Jesus and following Jesus based on what he has heard. But what I am suggesting is that at the very least, um, he should perhaps tone down some of his scathing verbiage when he's talking about religion, and that he won't just grossly misrepresent it at every turn, and and contradict himself all over the place. So if he is going to say write another book about new atheism, what he could do in light of what he is hopefully going to take to heart from what these other people are saying, like William Lane Craig, uh, he will say, well, I don't believe in God, but uh, the God that I don't believe in is like XYZ. In other words, that he would not just so grossly misrepresent and caricaturize what Christianity is, that he will say, well, maybe faith does have some reason behind it, but it is there is still a leap at some point, and I haven't made that leap, or just tone down some of the um, fanaticism that he is speaking as this great authority on something that he has no clue what he's talking about. Maybe now he does have a better idea of what he's talking about from talking to these people, and perhaps that will be incorporated into future uh, his future polemics. Now I'm very anxious for Monday morning because I'm presuming, I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, I would say that William Lane Craig will do a Reasonable Faith podcast Sunday night and put it up by Monday morning on this exchange that he has had. So I'm looking forward to that. He didn't say that he would do that in the question of the week, where he's talking about this debate, but I'm guessing that he probably will want to do that because this really is major news for people that follow William Lane Craig and what he says and who he is debating and so on. The real big thing that we've all been holding our breath for is for him and Richard Dawkins to have a debate, which that is, Dawkins has said that he would not do. Um, so, um, yeah, time will tell what will happen from this, what did happen at this event in Mexico. Um, and yeah, so stay tuned for more. You heard it here first. Um, Maybe perhaps it'll be on YouTube at some point. Maybe it already is. I don't know. But I do hope to get a chance to either read a transcript or hear or see a video of this event. And the John Lennox debate is available. I have it on my iPod type thing, my MP3 player, but I haven't listened to it yet. But I have some podcasts that I got from apologetics315.org, I think it is, and that was one of them. A debate between Richard Dawkins and John Lennox. John Lennox is a very bright guy, and if you don't know who William Lane Craig is, you really should. And you should as well. Try to listen to everything that he says and read everything he writes. If you are interested in an intelligent discussion of the God question or Christian apologetics or philosophy of religion, you really ought to familiarize yourself with William Lane Craig if you have not already. Thank you for watching. Again, more to come soon, I hope, on this late breaking news story, if you will. Shalom out.